You must have heard that Amazon easily ban people on their KDP platform. Well, that is true, and that is because these people are failing to put into consideration seriously the things I'm about to mention on this video. So let's get started. So first, before you start writing your book, the book you intend to publish, you have to understand the content guideline that is accepted in Amazon KDP. Also, the community guideline. You have to know the book cover of the book you intend to publish. So you understand the calculation and make sure that it aligns to what you have in mind and the content and community guidelines that are applicable on Amazon KDP. So to do this, you just go over to Amazon. So this is the Amazon cover calculator where you can calculate the cover of the book you intend to publish. So all you need is to input the information about your book and it will show you how it's going to appear. So this is for paper type. I chose white. Here I like to write. This place I chose inches for measurement unit. Then the interior I'm choosing 6 by 9, and then I'm choosing, you just input the count of the page. I'm choosing 300 and then calculate dimension. So it's going to bring out how the cover of the book you intend to publish due to by the information you've given, it's going to bring it out. So you can download this here and then use it to go to your to wherever you want to design the cover of your book. So you just go and design the cover of your book because it has given you how it should look. Now that you have gotten the cover of your book, the measurements and the dimensions, the next thing to do is to go over to the content guideline and the community guideline so that you know the do's and don'ts both in writing your book and when you'll be publishing your book. So you have these things in mind and put them into consideration while writing your book. So this is the content guidelines. So you can see illegal or infringing content, offensive content, poor customer experience, public domain content, report violations. So everything is what you have to read and understand. So it helps you to know the do's and the don'ts. Books that are translated of another work must credit the translator in the contribution field. So you know that if you're using any translation, you must acknowledge the person. So we take violation of laws, that's for the illegal or infringing content, and property rights very seriously. It is responsibility of authors, publishers, and selling partners to ensure that this content doesn't violate the laws. So this one includes both the copyright, the trademark, the brand, privacy, publicity, and other rights. So you have to make sure that there is no copyright, no trademark, nothing of such issues like in the book you intend to publish. So for the copyright issue, you make sure it is original from you, and if in any situation you got something from somewhere, you have to run it through a software that can help you know if there's actually a copyright violation done or not. So you also have to make sure you understand the public domain content and the poor customer experience. So just make sure you go through these community guidelines before you start writing your book. Also, you should check for plagiarism. That is, if your book contains something that is written somewhere else. So you just run it through a plagiarism checker for it to tell you if actually there is a plagiarism in the book. So I recommend you using Grammarly. This is plagiarism checker for Grammarly. So all you need to do is to upload the file here and then you tap scan for plagiarism. So here are the things that it saw on this article that I uploaded. So we have found plagiarism in your test and have also detected faulty writing issues. So it's not just about checking for plagiarism, it's also going to help you with your writing issues, whether it's grammar, punctuation, readability, word choice, all of this. So you have to run you through to know about all this. However, for you to continue, because I'm using a free version of this, you have to go premium. That's the paid version. So it's actually going to give you value for your money. So the next thing you have to check also is for trademark, because it's part of the things that Amazon actually check, especially for your cover book, including your title. Trademark could be anything. It could be words, it could be symbols, it could be signs, could be anything. So you have to make sure that your cover paper, especially the title, does not have trademark. Like it's not a title that has been trademarked somewhere else by someone else. So when someone trademarks any word or a phrase or anything, it becomes the person's property, and whoever that wants to use it again will have to take permission from the person that has acquired it as their property. So you have to make sure that you run this through a trademark check. Usually for books that are written in English, you use uspto.gov to check for plagiarism. and it actually has different sites for different countries. For books that are written in English, USPTO is usually recommended. So this is USPTO, United States Patent and Trademark Office. So what you have to do is you run your title through this test to know if it's eligible to be used or if it's trademarked by somebody else. So here you go for basic word mark search. You include the name of your, like, okay, let's use this one, Creative Mind, just for example, and then you say submit query. See, I used minds, and this is bringing out a lot of creative minds that have been trademarked by someone else, whether live or dead. You just have to be careful about using the title. So you have to check the titles you're using to make sure that nobody else is using it, especially if your title is generated by AI. So you run it through this test. Please, if you're seeing value in what I'm showing you so far, kindly hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos. So now that we have our book in order, the next thing to do is to go to Amazon Community Guideline to be able to know how to use this platform, including the do's and the don'ts, so that you don't run into problems. This is Amazon Community Guideline. It's saying what is Amazon Community Guideline. The community is a place to share your thoughts and experience, positive and negative, with other customers. By using this feature, you agree to our conditions of use. So you also have to check that out, the conditions of use. So what the guidelines applies to, you go through that. Who can participate, you go through that. What's not allowed. This is where you have to really be very careful about the seller order or shipping feedback. So content written in unsupported language, especially if you're going to be writing your native language, you have to go through this. And private information, this is very important. You're not allowed to share your phone numbers, email address, mailing address, license plates, data, source name, order number. Profanity and harassment, it is not allowed. You see hate speech about race, ethnicity, nationality, gender identity, sexual orientation, religion, age, disability, sexual content. It is also a problem because they have the terms and conditions for all that. So conflict of interest, solicitation, plagiarism and infringement or impersonation. I've already shared with you how you can make sure your book doesn't have any of these. It is a very serious problem if your book has any of these. Illegal activities like violence, illegal drug use, underage drinking, child and animal abuse, fraud. You have to make sure that your book is and your activities on Amazon KDP does not reflect any of the things that are written on this community guidelines. So you have to go through this and make sure you understand it very well. Another thing you need to understand is you should not assume a title that is not yours. For example, you should not write your book is the best-selling book if you've not earned that title. So you should not do things that are outside the box to be able to get people to read or buy your book. So you have to keep it as straight as possible and as honest as possible so you don't have problems. Also, when it comes to comment about pricing and availability, this is the things you have to avoid. Is the individual experience. Pricing comments related to individual experience are not allowed, so you have to make sure you avoid that. Also, trying to manipulate the reviews, like telling people to give you positive review or trying to manipulate it in any way. The algorithm, once it detects it, you are in trouble because they may terminate your account completely. And if you have some money in your account, you may lose it entirely. So you have to make sure you abide by these rules. They are not difficult to do, but they are quite tempting, especially if you're not making sales. Please note that before you start creating this account, if you're in Nigeria, you must have a means of identification because they will require for you to put in a tax number. However, the tax system in Nigeria does not work like it works in other countries. So you have to have a valid means of identification, be it your passport or your national ID card or any voter's card, any of those. Also, you should have a Pioneer account because that is the ones that are usually working, but most times it's for the US. So you have to make sure you create a Pioneer account so that you can have yourself prepared ahead of time and so that you can easily create accounts without any problems. Another thing you need to understand is why choosing the book you're going to be publishing. be careful not to choose low content book. This is from my experience because most people are writing low content books. They are very much easy to write. It is quite competitive. So if you can go for medium content book or full content books so that you can make sales because those low content books they are quite easy to write but they are quite competitive. However, if you're insisting on that, you can actually put up as many as possible so that you can be getting sales no matter how little. Now let's talk about the mindset you have to have before you start using Amazon KDP. A lot of people, especially on YouTube, they tell you how much they have made in thousands and in millions of dollars. You should not allow yourself to be tempted to think that this is actually how it's going to work. A lot of them do a lot of things to get their books to be out there, especially the use of keywords, when they are describing their books and the title of their books, because you need to make this keyword research ahead of time to be able to choose the niche you're going to be writing on so that your book can rank. Also, you have to understand how the marketing process goes. You can actually do this by, creating an email and using the affiliate link, to bring people to come and read your book. You can do a lot of things that are within Amazon guidelines so that you don't run into troubles or have issues along the line. You can also run ads for this so that your book gets seen by people or intending people that may want to buy your book so that you see yourself making sales. However, you have to be very patient with this process, especially when it comes to publishing books. Run ads if there is need because this is what people don't really tell you. Try to market your book within the confinement of the Amazon guidelines so that your book doesn't get banned or your account terminated or even suspended. So I hope the tips I've mentioned on this video helps you to make good money on Amazon and stay in on Amazon without having your account banned or terminated. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel and I'll see you in the next one.